Welcome to the Talltale Tavern, the monthly one-shot TTRPG podcast, once again honoring that description with our 17th adventure on the show. I am your host with the least, Scott. Kyle unfortunately could not join us as he's taking a well-deserved break to continue working on Expedition Untold, so he says. I think he's a little bit afraid and he's hiding because we've got what promises to be a terrifying level 5 cosmic horror adventure ahead of us today. And joining me at the bar is just an average man with an average life. He works 9 to 5 and he'll pay the price. Will Ramos. Welcome back, Will.
Hello, all. Excited to be here. Excited to not be playing a large oaf, but a small
Speaking of that, Will,
guy.
What's the name of your character and what is his species and class?
Today we are playing a rogue plasmoid named as Goolian Uzange.
Wonderful.
Not at all referencing anything, just an original name.
Because it's so ghoulish, because we're doing a scary adventure.
Don't make me shiver already, Scott. I'm doing my best over here.
Thank you. Next up, joining us from Germany, and just really glad that it's not currently 3 a.m., Goose is back with us. Welcome back, Goose.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Goose, what is the name of your character? What's their species? What's their class?
Yes, I'm playing a rock gnome artificer named Artie. She's great.
I'm excited.
I say so.
Yes, you're a little biased.
Yeah, I'm biased though.
Next up, new to the podcast, jack of all trades, master of hyperfixating for a few months, Chadlantis is here. Welcome, Chad.
Hello, everybody. I'm also going to be very small. I'm playing a fighter grung named Glorp, but you can just call me Glorp. Should be fun.
Hell yeah. I can't wait. I love grungs. And for the record, I'm playing a Thrikreen cleric named Bug. But that doesn't matter because what's most important is our tavern master for the evening. Wait, I think I misread the brief when you said you wanted creepypasta. I spent all this time writing an adventure in a cookbook. Ryan, aka Zombie Doc, is back to DM this demented adventure for us. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we're going to get some chills and spills through this entire adventure, so I'm ready to roll.
I'm already creeped out a little bit, but
shaking in my boots.
Looking forward to the spills mostly.
Yes.
Spilled drinks.
With that, though, I don't think there's anything left to do but for me to hand it over to you to take us to the tavern or whatever exists of the tavern. I don't even know.
Our vision is greeted from a high celestial vantage point, looking down on the planet Toril, a gleaming blue and green marble hanging in the darkness. We can just barely make out the flickering, dancing lights of the small town of Daggerford along the sword coast of Faerun. The scene shifts and pulls us backwards, the familiar world rapidly shrinking as the stars stretch and blur, transforming into streaks of light. We hurtle through the inky depths of the astral sea, nebulae and galaxies drifting by in swirling colors. We bank sharply, veering into the Pyralis system, where a dim, smoldering sun named Cinderhearth hangs heavy in the void like a dying ember. Ahead, a fractured, spiraling structure appears. The Radiant Docks, a massive, sprawling station suspended in the system's faint twilight. From afar, the dock is a chaotic pinwheel with 5 irregular arms made of salvaged starship hulls, exposed asteroid rock, and metal beams. The faint, rusty glow from the sun catches on the station's hull, illuminating the jagged layers and edges, casting long shadows and filling the space with a haunting, dim warmth. We glide closer. The neon lights lining the edges of the Radiant Docks comes into focus, flickering with vibrant pinks and greens and electric blues that contrast with the station's utilitarian grays and browns. Sparks fly from a group of workers welding repairs on an exposed segment, the visors glowing blue in the dim light. Passing through the metal walls, we suddenly emerge into the cramped, bustling corridor of Hab B. The hallway is dimly lit with flickering warm lamps bolted unevenly to the walls, which are coated with a mishmash of peeling paint and graffiti layered over years. Doors of various sizes and designs line the walls, many with hand-painted signs or small trinkets hanging outside. Directly across from us is the Talltale Tavern, an odd, unassuming establishment nestled between two dissimilar bulkheads. It looks like a relic of another era, an anomaly among the cold metal and industrial clutter. A warm amber glow spills out from within, and the walls are lined from floor to ceiling with shelves crammed with books of every shape and color, creating a towering maze of mismatched novels, journals, and ancient tomes. Each inch of wall space is occupied by some kind of literary work, their spines leaning and sagging from years of wear, and their covers showing the faded, dust-worn evidence of countless hands. On a hand-painted plaque, neatly mounted to the right side of the saloon-style doors, reads a poem worn with time from the caress of many fingers and pseudopods. A place of truth and of lies, grab a drink of any size, and listen to the wisdom of the wise in this place where the ink never dries. Inside, patrons huddle in deep leather armchairs, some reading, others whispering, each drawn to the strange, comforting quietude that pervades the tavern. There's an almost mystical quality to the air, thick with the heady scent of ink and aged paper, tinged with the faintest hint of an unknown spice. Although patrons have complained lately of a pervasive, sulfurous odor, but faulty ventilation ducting has been an easy target for blame. A few flickering candles sit on tables, casting small islands of light in the dim, book-stacked room. The bartender, a bald man with a kind smile and a mustache that gives him an old-world charm, moves gracefully between the counter and the books, pouring drinks as if they're elixirs crafted by a sage. A young Githyanki man, likely in his early 20s, stands boredly at the books on the wall, idly scratching his elongated green ear. "May I make a suggestion?" The words makes him jump, and he turns to see the smiling face of the barkeep, his eyes twinkling and a well-groomed mustache accentuating his grin. The barkeep reaches past and plucks a book off the shelf. The young man's nose wrinkles briefly before the book, a blue and silver tome that is thrust into his hands. "You might like this one. It's a local legend from right here on the Radiant Docks." Skeptically, the Githyanki looks down and cracks the spine to the Lament of the Void. Roll the intro. Gazing into the vast silence of empty space, infinite, cold, and foreboding, it is exceedingly difficult to grasp the concept of the unimaginable, unending darkness that stretches for eternity. Where pinpoints of light fade away from the colorful swirls of nebular dust, there lays a starless void, yawning, open, black, and hungry. The imagination takes flight, and the mental itch of disquiet, discomfort, and dread squirms in the deep recesses of the mind, a slowly rising psychic bile driving nausea and paranoia. In an infinite universe and realities where all things are statistically possible, the imagination runs wild with incredulous concepts of planet-consuming horrors and dying suns birthing old gods that lurk in the unfathomable void in the periphery of consciousness. While these fears of the unknown cosmos are readily dismissed by the space-hardy denizens of the astral sea, sometimes in the dead of true night, when the ship sleeps and nothing but the dull vibration of the deck beneath your feet and the low cough and sputters of ventilation greet your ears, sometimes when you stare through the reinforced glass that separates your tiny, fragile cocoon of atmosphere from the endless void beyond, sometimes when you peer into the darkness, you feel the silent, monstrous eyes of eternal abominations stalking prey. In the fringes of your perception, like a twisted angler fish from a demon's own nightmares, it uncoils, shifting its ancient, hollow gaze to your meager existence, and you suddenly realize just how insignificantly small you truly are. Bug and Glorp. On the dawning of a new day mark aboard the Radiant docks, before you have to report to Dawnstar Salvage Works, where you and your team have been working now for many cycles, where would you be found?
Definitely towards a gambling area, grabbing a drink and throwing some dice are the favorite pastimes of Glorp. Definitely done so with his newfound, quote-unquote newfound, companion.
Mm-hmm.
Been together for a while, but grand scheme of things, I should say.
Yeah, Bug is following Glorp around if he's going to the dice hall. Bug is fascinated by large gatherings of people. Energy, anyway, there's a lot of energy, a lot of emotions moving around, like through the air. And since he is somebody who communicates non-verbally with telepathy, he can sense all that, and it's very attractive to him. And he just wants to understand what's going on, I guess, while Glorp is throwing dice.
Well, you find yourselves in the highly regarded watering hole called the Void View Cantina. It's an upscale floating bar suspended over the edge of the station, has transparent floors that look out into the vastness of the astral sea. The cantina is a gathering spot for traders and adventurers, information brokers, gamblers all alike. All around you, you see a collage of different races, of sexes, of non-sexes, and of clothing and just jewelry, a complete collage of the upper, mid, and lower crust all together, shouting and carrying on, throwing dice, playing cards, and watching as the magical images are being displayed on the wall. So when you are sitting there and Glorp, you're getting ready to throw dice, what do people see when they look at you?
They see you as basically Rash from Battletoads, where he's just a beefy frogman, shades on at all times, in space, that kind of vibe, like 90s punk. Has a nice studded leather jacket. It's always open because he would previously display his like rock band t-shirt under the studded black leather jacket. But considering it was a local favorite of Bug Eaters as a rock band, ever since he met his now best friend, he figured it was in bad taste, threw it away, and just never bothered buying another shirt. So he just bare-chested at all times. Who needs shirts anyway? He has a nice headband that he wears around his neck because he doesn't have much of a forehead. How he has glasses on there is space magic explained. Wears kind of like a bandana. He's got like slots and holsters all over his jacket area, kind of like a sling sash going on across his chest as well, and some armbands that his buddy Bug was able to craft for him. Some knee pads that are also studded leather as well, things like that. Nice utility belt also for holstering darts and some weapons, things like that. 3'6", size small for sure. A nice 37 pounds wet. But just definitely in that, definitely wet. He is a frog man. Definitely just in that 90s cool guy wearing shades in space, smoking darts, throwing darts, that kind of vibe.
Love it. And as you have your hand back, getting ready to throw the dice onto this velvet padded area with chips stacked across the board, how much would you think that he would be wagering on any number of dice throws?
Well, I think he would weigh the room, so that I'm going to bounce back a question to you because how much do the common person in this area wager? Because he wouldn't flash a lot of money. He would be more of like, I'm willing to play, but I'm not going to be pretentious. I'm just here to play.
Assuming this is like a medium stakes table, the average bet is probably anywhere between 10 to 30 gold per roll coming through in credits, but yeah.
Right in the 20.
Right on.
We're just here to match the energy.
As you pull the dice back, getting ready to throw, you look down at your, well, not quite down, more just to the side and up a little bit at your constant companion, Bug. And what does he see when he looks at you, Bug?
Yeah, absolutely. Bug is apparently 2 feet taller than his frog companion, 5'6", mantis-looking guy he's got an iridescent shell with like purple hues coming off of it, and while he's looking at him, he is actively, nervously knitting with his extra Thrikreen hands, which are like, he doesn't use knitting needles. He's got like praying mantis claws that he's like using to work the thread while he's doing it. And Bug is covered completely head to toe in like the biggest scarf you've ever seen. It's like he just adds to it always. So it's wrapped around his entire body in different spots. Where Glorp might reach into like a pocket to get something, I'm just reaching into folds of scarf to pull anything out. And it's got all over him, it's got his holy symbol like sewn in on it too, so he can use it to channel magic, which is like a skeletal hand holding like the scales of justice is the holy symbol for him. He is a grave cleric. Other than that, he's just kind of probably chittering nervously at how much that Glorp has bet on this hand, not really understanding how much money is even a lot to bet in this, but just fascinated by it. Very excited, knitting a little bit faster. Maybe actually at this point he's probably working on like a new sweater for Glorp to replace the shirt that he threw away because he wants him to be warm. He's very concerned about his bare chest in space. It's a cold place.
That is excellent. So as you look down, or look up rather, at your friend Glorp, you go ahead and roll a d20 for me. And this is going to be a straight d20. I was going to give you your bonus to your charisma as your luck, but I saw what your charisma bonus is, and so it's going to be a flat d20. and we'll see how the wager goes for you.
This is Glorp rolling here?
This is Glorp rolling,
Okay.
yep.
Okay. So it'd be 11.
Perfect. You take the dice, they're oddly shaded, tetrahedral, you throw them down, they bounce and they jumble, and as they roll across, you have half the crowd cheer, the other half goes, oh. And you were able to get half your stake back in your winnings, so you did not too bad on that. So you went 1.5 times your stake.
Okay.
As you gather your winnings, you look up and see that the iridescent floating clock that is slowly rotating over the central bar is pointing that time. You have about 15 minutes to report to Dawnstar Salvage Works, or you guys will be late for your shift.
I say into his mind, Glorp, tardiness imminent.
I'll be all right, kid. We'll get there when we get there.
Just nervously moving my teeth.
I walk casually. I'm not going to delay going there, but I'm not going to run.
Perfect.
As the two of you step out of the Void View Cantina into the long but somewhat cramped, mismatched walls of bulkheads, the camera angle kind of shifts and swings back behind the bar as a bartender is throwing an empty bottle into a recycler. It crashes, and then he reaches down to lift another one up. You go by him and down a small stairwell behind the bar into the subterranean part of this cantina. You see stacks of crates, you see stacks of barrels and bottles, you see cold storage for food, and we slowly approach this disused, dimly lit corner. And Goolian, how does your character sleep?
Just like he fills a bucket completely. He's just the shape of the bucket. If water was in a bucket, that could be him.
What color is Goolian?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm thinking like a blue.
Blue? Okay.
A nice blue to blue-green in that sort of spectrum.
How would Goolian make sure that he is not late for his own shift?
It's a good question, but I feel like he cares a lot about the job, getting things done. So whatever form of space alarm exists out there on the docks, he's got one.
Inside of your goo body, just one of those classic
There's just there's just an alarm clock running around. That's the only thing in the bucket is just an alarm clock. So when I fill the shape of the bucket, an alarm clock is inside of me and it starts ringing when it's time to wake up.
So the alarm clock is going off. You've got about 20 minutes, to get up, get yourself ready, and get to your starting shift. As it goes off, your body is dampening the sound of the alarm clock. Your whole body just vibrating with the noise.
Not a pleasant way to wake up, for sure.
You pour yourself out of the bucket, and as you stand yourself up to your full height, well, what is your full height? How do you choose to appear as a plasmoid?
We're going with the stereotypical. Just have you ever seen the '90s movie Flubber?
Oh, yes.
We look like that. Big
flubber. How
we're
tall?
like 4 feet tall because we're small. We're on the larger end of small, but we're about 4 feet. Being that it's time to head to work, among the boxes and various debris, I grabbed the only things I typically have, which is a belt holster, which stashes my trusty pistol, and then a crossbody bag with various tools and gadgets inside that I would use to fix various aspects of the ship. Nothing, too important in there necessarily, just a bag where I'd keep my regular job tools. But as I leave the basement where no one knows that I live, because it's we're technically stowing away down there, I grab the only other thing that I make sure to always have, which is a hat knitted for me by Bug. Keep it, put it on, and it's sort of unclear whether it's out of affection for Bug and for the team that I work with, or to keep Bug off my back from constantly giving me various knitted items. It's a little bit unclear, but regardless, wherever he goes, he keeps that hat with him at all times and wears it, and that would be like the only traditional clothing that I got on, essentially.
As you leave this little sub-basement underneath the cantina, do you walk, do you slither, do you crawl? How do you move?
We walk. We maintain that flubber state pretty consistently, unless the job calls for, puddling down to squeeze into a small space or something like that.
So as you do, you see only about 15 feet ahead of you through the milling people who are leaving work, going to work, or some who are coming in for either an early start to the day or a late into their day. You actually catch Bug and Glorp, who are leaving, not for the first time, from maybe having spent many hours already at the cantina.
I just catch up with them and say, hey, you guys are running late.
I don't know, Goolian. I'm pretty sure we're right on time.
Glorp refuses to run. This isn't running. This is walking.
Suit yourself. And then I'd kind of just I'd walk well ahead of them if they're just kind of taking their own time. I care about them and I want them to get there on time, but I'm out walking with them, essentially.
The view follows the three of you. Very odd trio, completely separately different and distinct from each other. And it kind of pans ahead, zooming down in between twisted bulkheads, underneath freight elevators, down alleys, up a stairwell, down another corner, and down another stairwell, before it opens into a larger vestibule with multiple shops and businesses there, and slides across a antiquated hole from the front of a massive wooden vessel, probably something that sailed on real water at one point in time, with a broken figurehead of something angelic on the front of it. And in the middle of that hole is a doorway, and over the doorway says Dawnstar Salvage Works. From deep within, you hear a clanking noise and some muttered cursing. Artie, what are you doing and why is it upsetting you?
For those not watching on video, I have cool glasses that I will pretend I'm welding with.
I love it.
So she's hammering away at something that they got on their last salvage trip, and there is just in the last couple of passes that they've gone out on, the last couple of missions, she's noticed that her hands are shaking more. And she's, I think, getting really frustrated with herself in that, like, she just can't seem to hold things the same way. And she's currently yelling at her, my steel defender, who is in the background helping, as in observing. So it's just like clanking and shouting and not getting very much done.
What form does your steel defender take?
Yes, so it looks like a cat, but it's the size of like a dog, probably. And then she outfitted
What
it
breeds?
with like,
I gotta know what breed.
I like
Some dogs
like
are smaller
like
than
a
cats.
big like a big dog, like a mastiff size.
Okay.
But like
Mastiff.
it looks like a cat,
Gotcha.
and it the cat has armor on it. But like think like I'm thinking like Fallout 4 Raider dog armor, where it's like
Love it.
like metal scrap armor on a metal creature. I don't know, but that's
Okay.
the
I love
vibe. Yeah.
That's a great vibe.
Yeah.
Awesome. You stand there wiping sweat from your brow. You are somebody who is quite the grease monkey and have a hard time ever leaving work. So what time would you say, or how much earlier than your shift start would you have started?
How early would I start? Oh gosh. When did our last one end? I imagine it would be like a work, sleep 8 hours, dawdle around for an hour finding food, and then continue working. So however long that's been, that's her
Considering
day.
your guys' shift would start day mark around 0800, you've probably been there since about 0600, messing around in the shuttle area, preparing the various vehicles that you have to quickly disembark. As you know, as somebody who's now been working for many cycles as part of a team of salvagers from Dawnstar Salvage Works, that the laws of salvage that are loosely kept in the Astral Sea are first to the claim, first to the prize. So the faster you can get on site, the first team there gets it. And it's pretty well honored. There's very rarely any warfare or actual skirmishes or combat between salvage teams. It's a tough enough job as it is. So if somebody makes it to the prize first, they usually get it. However, the tugs that go to get to the larger ships take a lot longer to get there. So many of the salvage operations will have 3 to 6 quick vessels be able to send out so that you can get on site faster. And so you're there working not only on some of the salvage from, but probably also been maintaining several of the vessels that you guys have that you can be dispatched out of. As you are sweating there, you hear a noise over the intercom.
Employees, please come to the lecture hall.
Think we should go to the lecture hall.
This would be a summoning for those who are there, and as the rest of you, Glorp, Bug, and Goolians are walking in, Artie, you're hearing this too. You recognize the voice of the Plasmoid sub-leader that you have within Dawnstar Salvage Works. It was Vorn. He has called you to what they have nicknamed the lecture hall, but in reality, it's a small, cramped conference room full of mismatched furniture taken from dozens of different repurposed wrecks. Some look like captain's chairs, other look like stools, and still more are just crates that are serving as stools around an old discarded restaurant table. You guys all three pile in, and you see Vorn, who goes by the nickname The Shift, as he is much like Goolian, a plasmoid green, who is slithering slug-like with arms behind his proverbial body, pacing back and forth. Seems to be a little bit more anxious than normal, because as he slithers across, another part of him will pop off and like slither behind him, and then another one pop off. So it's like a mother duckling, and all the little ducklings going behind it, because he's like slithering back and forth as Morphin pops off, and then like realize what they're doing, they will quickly join back into his body. As you come in, he's nodding and points to the different chairs. Come in. We have a real amazing opportunity here. He holds out a shining little metal octagonal size of like a large softball with pits and holes through it that is from the inside shining with a brilliant purple and blue light. And as he holds it up, it starts to elevate a little bit and floats over towards the center of the table. It says, this is picked up by Gloomtide Harbinger. This is a mercenary vessel that was guarding a Githyanki prisoner transport on the edge of the Void Gate. As it turns out, they discovered the location of the Brightwarden's Aria. It's been lost for 3 cycles. Everybody roll a history or arcana check for me.
24, sir.
Excellent arcana check.
Bug got 13 on a history check.
11 for Goolian.
Before I say my number, I need you to know that I'm proficient in both Arcana and History with a +7, but I did roll a 1, so that's an 8. I was really excited, and then I was not so much.
Really distracted by
I think it
something.
was more
just working.
It was more that you were distracted by the fact that as he was talking, the wonderful shift Mr. Vorn was splitting into multiple parts of himself as he was barely containing his own excitement, and that definitely distracted you, Miss
Yeah.
Artie.
Yeah, one of those little parts just kept waving at you for no reason.
Yeah, I was like,
no
oh my
discernible
God.
reason. And you're just like, leave me alone, man.
So all of you would have heard of the Brightwarden's Aria, at least a little bit, because the war between the Githyanki and the Illithid has been ongoing for hundreds of years, if not even a full millennia now. The Githyanki have like ancestral creed, this desire to wipe the Illithid off the face of the universe if they can, because of the insidious way that the Illithid reproduce and capture and dominate other species. There are nautiloid fleets seeming to just pop into existence, moving from plane of reality to plane of reality, terrorizing planets and species across the entire realm. The Githyanki had a vessel of legend called the Brightwarden's Aria. In the view of spelljamming, some of the largest vessels that are known are called hammerheads, and they will measure from keel all the way to stern about 250 feet. This vessel blows a little bit past 300 feet in length and was large enough that it actually would launch smaller vessels and could serve as a actual like mobile base of operations, much larger than anything else out there. But Glorp, because of your phenomenal role, you have a little bit more information that you know about this one. You would know that the Brightwarden's Aria has been originally the head of this spelljamming fleet, and over the decades it's been participated in huge campaigns like the Nebula Clash and the Siege of the Solace Rim. Its final major battle was at the Umber Abyss, where it narrowly repelled Mindflayer shock troops before it was ceremonially decommissioned about 50 years ago. The Aria is now repurposed for civilian service. Most of the weaponry was stripped away, but much of it still remains, and it is now under the captainship of a Githyanki named of Captain Vas Talric. The fact that it's been missing for 3 cycles, it would be like hearing in modern terms of a major cruise vessel disappearing off the ocean. So it's been really bizarre that a ship of this size and this renown had disappeared. And now, 3 cycles later, its location has been found.
Oh yeah, I know that ship. Weird.
Vorn looks at you. You do? You're as excited as I am?
There's money involved, right?
Always.
I'm very excited. Absolutely.
You had me at money involved.
That's right, Goolian.
We know a little bit, and we have to act quickly because we want to get to this Brightwarden's Aria before anybody else. There is money at stake in 3 major areas. One, if we can locate the whereabouts or the fate of the crew, we can help claim some of the insurance policy and make sure that that is finalized. Each one of those crew, we are being offered 100 platinum per crew member to help discover what happened to them. And we have a list of 31 crew. Also, if we can secure the major and minor helms, it was such an amazing vessel that if those can be repurposed, that's 750 platinum each. And lastly, no matter what other cargo is there, they still have many large weapon systems. And each one of those weapon systems usually has at least 3 power crystals that are used in sequence. And each one of those power crystals alone is worth 125 platinum. The amount of salvage on just those items alone makes this a prize that we cannot turn down.
I like the sound of that.
Music to my ears.
Do we have to pick? Do we have to pick? Do we have time to do all of them? Or do we have to pick?
We have time. You're going to get there quickly. We'll send a tug after it. With the knowledge of its location, we think we can get you there within half a day mark, but the tug is going to take 3 to 4 day marks to arrive behind you. You're going to have to get there, secure the vessel, follow our standard procedure.
Survivors? Or dead crew?
We don't know, and that is where this becomes troubling. He looks at each of you in turn. I knew Captain Voss not well, but we'd trade drinks, stories. Retired admiral of some renown and spent his time still serving for the love of the crew and the love of the Astral Sea. He points to the shimmering ball now floating in front of all of you. This is a distress beacon that was picked up by the Gloomtide Harbinger. And he says, well, I'll let you decide. And an image appears floating in front of all of you. It's 2-dimensional. It shifts and you can see it looks like the captain, this Githyanki, is staring straight forward, like he's speaking into something. He appears on what has to be the Brightwarden's bridge, but as he stands there, his once proud armor is now marred by grime and scratches and looks like he's got faint smears of blood. Shadows carve the lines across his face. It's giving him a haunted look, hollow. His eyes are wide, almost feverish, and they're darting between the view and something just beyond the frame. Faint streaks of blood and erratic, spiraling symbols are smeared along the bridge walls, half wiped in a desperate attempt to hide them. As he speaks, his voice wavers, veering between desperation and trying to maintain a steely command. This is Captain Voss Talric of the Brightwarden's Aria. We're adrift, stranded on the fringe of the Astral Sea. Our helm is damaged, missing. My crew is scattered. Too many who receives this. His eyes are flicking off to the side, lingering a moment a little bit too long on something that is not in frame. I'm calling for aid for my crew, for our lost souls aboard this ship. I speak to those who travel the sea, who honor those gone before. Our journey may be ending here, lost amongst the stars, but if anyone has the mercy or the courage to come for us, we would not refuse such a mercy. He looks down, this pallor approaching his green face, making his face almost turn gray. He is at a whisper, head looking towards the floor. To any gods who hear, to any who answers the pleas of the forgotten, guide us. Let those who seek us find strength. And if this vessel is to be our grave, may we rest in the sea's embrace, unmarked, unseen, beyond the grasp of. They are coming. And the transmission abruptly ends. I would like each of you to make a perception check for me.
22 on perception.
Nice.
Oh my god. 22 on perception.
Got 18.
Saw what I saw,
15.
kid.
Okay. Excellent.
Wait, what did Goose say? Sorry, I didn't hear it.
15.
Okay.
You're still thinking about that little waving guy.
Yeah, oh my god, he's just in my brain. I can't get him out.
I'm going to start from the lower up. So each of you detects something in this that stands out to you. Artie, as you were looking at this, you were a little distracted. And what was distracting you was the fact that the light on the bridge was more emergency lighting. It wasn't the nice, crisp, normal lighting that you see on a bridge. But what was disturbing was, although the light source was static, the shadows in the room appeared to be moving in a way suggesting that the light was moving, but it was not.
Okay.
Glorp, as you are watching this, at several points during the transmission, you hear faint scratching noises, almost like fingernails walking on a metal surface, or like nails on concrete. And as you were listening to that, they would grow louder and louder and stop. Louder and louder, stop. You also noticed a strange visual distortion pass over the frame, warping the image of Captain Talbot just for a moment. And when that occurred, his countenance, his skin seemed to get paler for just a few moments and then recovered. Bug, you have perception that is different than others with the way that you speak and communicate. And something that you picked up different than anyone else, and you recognize this because it was not coming through audibly. You heard it in your head, and it said this: if you come, be prepared. There's no telling what you'll find. We've lost so many. And they whisper. Gods, they whisper.
Bug's antennas are like.
You alright, kid?
No, negative.
Seem a little shook up.
Bad.
Goolian, what you detected in listening to this, just as Captain Talbot finishes speaking, and right before the transmission abruptly cut, you heard what sounded like a faint, imperceptible wail, like a wailing cry of horror or agony, like a twisted echo of somebody's last scream that was just floating up from the decks below.
Didn't anybody else hear the scream at the end there?
I heard a lot of nails scratching surfaces, like people trimming fingernails or something. I don't know.
This guy seems like a ray of sunshine. This is going to be a great job, I think.
Yeah.
I heard additional warning through neural frequencies. Very dangerous.
Well, that's good.
Vorn looks at each of you and This is probably just nothing more than the jitters of space madness or somebody who's lost their nerve after so many years. The way that the spelljamming helms will work, now that we have the location, you'll be able to hone in on it. We'll give you the standard equipment, and he shrugs. If there is a couple of stowaways or a few crew who've maybe gone off the deep end, you can totally handle it. And he holds up a data sheet that is scrolling that says, speaking of the crew, here's the crew complement, and you may want to use this for future reference just so we can mark off who you find so that we can make sure we get the insurance payout. And I will put the whole crew complement for all of you
The hell's a crew complement? I don't know what that is.
Discord.
I don't know what a
Nice
crew
job, crew.
Like a manifest?
Well done.
That? I want to say I'm just pleasantly surprised that like each crew member is worth almost as much as like the crystals, you know? I really thought it'd be like crew members worth like, I don't know, a fucking copper, and then anything else you get is worth way more.
Very ethical.
Yeah.
This is the good place, you guys, okay? This is the good place.
Yeah, it seems like a
Each
good
crew member is
capitalism.
worth $13. Spend it wisely.
Vorn looks at you and says, we have your standard equipment. We will make sure that you have your magnetic boots. You're going to have your comms, and make sure that you each grab a set of scuttle charges as we have our usual standing orders. And as he starts to say them as a reflex, you all say them in unison because you've heard them so many times before. Determine the cause of the vessel's drift. Determine the fate and whereabouts of the crew. Determine the flight readiness and capacity of the vessel. Prepare the ship for towing, and salvage valuable items. And lastly, scuttle the vessel as a last resort only.
Bug didn't say it along with everybody, but I did specifically take common sign language as one of my languages just for these instances, so he does sign along the creed.
I would just mumble the melody of the words, and that's about it.
You're going watermelon.
Watermelon. Applesauce, watermelon, applesauce.
Watermelon.
Vorn looks at you. I have some information, happy to share it. Otherwise, I would say pick which of the away shuttles you want. We have right now, and Artie, you would know these immediately. We've got the Dawn Spear, we have the Iron Maw, the Void Strider, and the Dock Hound that are here. The Dock Hound is a little bit slower. It's got -5 to its speed, but it has special bonus, the +5 to docking, clamping, and grappling, so that can help you to better attach to a salvage vessel. The Void Strider is speed optimized. It gets +10 to its speed, but it's got a -5 to its armor and a -5 to docking because it's built just to get there fast. The Iron Maw is heavily armored. It's slower, so it's a +10 to armor, but a -10 to speed. And lastly, the Dawn Spear is pretty much standard in all of its categories. The one area it has a lot more bonuses to, it's got a +10 to its ability to sense threats and for navigation. So I'm happy to read back through those, but you basically get the choice of any one of those vessels.
I'm leaning towards the last one, but if
I like
anyone...
the last one.
Yeah.
Armor. Carapace keeps alive. Armor.
But Bucket is slow. We do not want to go slow.
Don't want to go at all.
Yeah, Artie, you know these ships better than anybody. I'll just leave it to you.
Bug, the
Nice.
last ship has better antennas, so it can sense things better. Antennas keep things alive.
Sure.
Okay.
The last one. The Dawn...
The Dawn Spear.
What? Dawn Spear. That one.
That's a good name.
You would know the Dawn Spear. It's a small spelljamming vessel, and by small, it's 40 feet long, 15 feet wide. It's got about 12-foot clearance in the vessel itself, so more space than any of you really need for the size of this crew. It has a dark hull made out of matte materials and reinforced plating. It's got retractable grappling arms. You do have a nice cockpit in there, hot swap bunk room for people who do want to take naps in and out. But then there are the couple of stations that need to be manned. There is a navigation, an actual small engine room, an engine station, because this is not a traditional spelljamming ship, because it's meant for speed, and it's more of like a real one-way to get there fast, and then the tug will come to pick you up. You do have a gunnery station that will not only help to fight away any imminent threats, but also helps to arm and fire the grappling to make sure you can get lampened onto the vessel that you're trying to attach to. We should get underway as quickly as possible, as we do not know if other crews have this same knowledge. The rest of our salvage teams are out already, so you are my only group right now who can go.
There goes my question. More crewmen? That's what I was gonna ask him. Can we get some more guys? Okay.
So, did you say you had a little bit more info for us before you started talking about the ships, or am I incorrect?
The only other thing that I'm aware is that the Brightwarden's Aria was transporting goods to be delivered to a struggling colony, and it disappeared while en route, and it's been 3 cycles since anyone had heard anything. But that's really what just all the news reels were saying. I can say from what I know about Captain Talric, he's an upstanding and fine Githyanki, as good as they come. I have never seen anybody look quite as stressed as he did. So be on your guard. I don't think they've been boarded, but I do not know what they could have come across. So if you wish to go get any additional supplies, we do have our quartermaster, and I can give you each 250 gold credits to spare if you wish to buy anything else before you go.
Yeah, the kid had a question, but he didn't want to ask it. Just for clarification, did they already leave that struggling colony, or were they on the way to the struggling colony?
They had they were going to the struggling colony.
Okay. And how are they doing, the struggling colony? Are they still struggling?
There have been others that have come to their aid, so they have been able to get through the famine. But the Brightwarden's Aria, having been lost, was just seemed to be a mystery.
All right. There you go, kid.
Give him a thumbs up. Okay. I must have been asking it, I guess.
So I will leave it to the team. Do you wish to go visit the quartermaster and purchase any additional supplies, or head straight out? The things that you know that they could offer might
gonna be cool shit. I want to know. Yeah.
Well, there could be some, perhaps potions that could be of value if you wanted to maybe see if there's some healing potions.
I would
if you wanted to see if there was any
that.
resistance. Yeah, so totally up to you guys what you want to do, or you could head right to the vessel because you guys have chosen the Dawn Spear.
I was going to say that the only thing I would load up on would be like additional medical supplies of any sort. So if there's healing potions to be purchased, then I would definitely be interested in that.
We saw how scary that message was. I think we gotta prep up. I'm down for going to the quartermaster.
I've been through worse.
I still take the 250 credits for Glorp, specifically so you can't gamble them before we leave.
Let me tell you about the story I had out of the run-in with the Dark Queen. I start rambling about a past war story with him.
Okay.
Nodding in fascination. I've heard it before, but I'm still like, oh, yeah.
So as you head down the hall to a brightly lit area that is the quartermaster, you see Sifril Churnspin, a gif, a large hippo-like humanoid with just a massive head and face, who is standing there as distinguished as ever in the most buttoned up and starched looking uniform you could possibly imagine. Doesn't fit at all with Dawnspear's usual kind of wear what you want. It looks like he came right off of some kind of admiralty. And he stands there. And as you walk up, he looks first of all to Goolian and says, "Did you happen to bring back that grappling gun that I had loaned you?"
I'm gonna reach into my pack and probably pull out a grappling gun and give it to him.
"Oh, thank you very much." He takes it back and immediately starts cleaning it with a white cloth that looks absolutely pristine. And as it gets soiled, you see him throw it down and pick up another pristine looking white cloth and starts cleaning off the grappling. And as he looks up to you, "Yes, I'm sorry. What else did you need?"
We're just here to stock up before we head out on a standard salvage run. Seems a little dangerous, so do you got any potions for us or extra gear?
I do. We have 6 potions of greater healing that we have in stock for 150 gold, and we have 4 potions of superior healing. We also have just regular potions of healing. We've got 10 of those. So the potions of healing are 50 gold, the potions of greater healing 150, and superior, as you know, these are 400 gold each.
We each got 250 gold, you said?
That's correct.
So, had you given us gold before the start of this adventure? Because I have it written down for some reason that I have 110. I don't know if that's wrong.
So from an adventuring standpoint, we didn't fully go into that. So you could have, just given that you guys are level 5, we'll go ahead and give you an additional 250 gold pieces that you can have personally, and you just got another 250 that were given to you.
That's sick.
5.
Should we, anybody want to pull some money to get,
Take all of mine.
Thank you. And if you hand me your money, I was speed knitting a little orange rag for you to wipe your hands off with so you can clean all that stuff. And germs thrive in grime.
And it's like immediately dirty.
Yeah,
because my hands are nasty.
Cool. If I've got Goose's gold and my gold, then I think I want to buy 2 superior healings, 1 greater and 1 regular to blow through the entirety of it.
You've got it, and you can add each one of those to your inventory.
Do you have any of the good juice, like resistances or anything like that?
He looks back and starts throwing things around. You hear or you see him digging through a couple of vials, things clanking and moving together, and then he pulls out 3 flasks, one of which is a green flask that swirls with a almost caustic looking liquid. The other one is a clear flask that has, you would swear, it's just water in it. And the third is a red flask that almost emanates heat from how it appears. And he says, this is one against poison and disease. This one, he goes, it's against fear. And this one, against fire.
How much is that fear resistance?
Oh, this one is only 200 gold.
I'll take one.
Okay. You can add a potion of fear resistance. When you drink that potion of fear resistance, it basically is going to give you some psychic resistance in general, but also specifically towards fear. So it's give you a resistance for an hour. So that's going to count against damage, but also to effects that might be trying to cause you fear.
And I will also take 2 greater healing potions to round out the rest of my gold.
You can add those to your inventory. And we'll do the change. The large gif, he puts out his hands and quite happily takes each of those the credits from you and does so, and then immediately wipes his hands off and starts wiping off the coins at the same time.
This is me not knowing how D&D works, but do I need ammo for my pistol, or is it provided by magic?
Traditionally, yes, you would, but since we are treating it like laser, then I'm not going to.
Oh, got you. Perfect.
Yeah.
How many potions are left after what's been bought?
There should still be, looking at my tally, you're still 3 potions of superior healing, 4 greater, and there are 9 regular.
I will buy 2 greater, and then
Perfect.
how much was the fire resist?
Also was going to be 200 gold.
That puts me at what, 50 left? So
I think
I'll do that.
500 total. If you buy 2 greater, that's 300, and then 200.
Oh, perfect.
After
Yeah,
that,
that's all my money.
Perfect. All right. Sifril looks at you, says, was there anything else? If not, he's looking at all the gold credits you've stacked on the counter. I have work to do, as he starts picking up each piece and fastidiously cleaning it. One piece by one piece.
Yeah, I'm not waiting around for that. You guys ready?
I look at our Gith friend and say, you should use less starch. Soft clothes are nice.
He stands up even straighter than usual and goes, stiff upper lip, stiff upper spine, you do not mess.
I don't have a spine. And I just walk away.
Kid's got a point.
Good luck, he calls out. You guys make it down to the shuttle bay. You see each one of these different vessels out there. They all look like they are cobbled together from other vessels. Very few of them have anything that is original to whatever vessel they came from. They are all built at odd angles, not a straight line to be found. Some blockier than others, some more spherical than others, and you stand in front of the Dawn Spear. You are ready to embark and start your adventure whenever you decide. Anything else you want to do before embarking?
I would like to go back and start gambling if you're willing to have that time.
Absolutely not.
All right, I'll do it later. It's fine.
I reach in my backpack, I pull out a tiny little deck of cards. I hand it to what is your name again? Grungle?
Glorp.
You can call me Glorp.
Grunkle.
Glorp. I say we can gamble on board.
It's like calling me human mole.
I love it.
I mean, my character's name is
Manny.
Bug. I mean, it's not like that crazy. But like, call you Grung. Like,
As far as I'm concerned, your name's
I
Kid.
just call all of you what you are.
yeah.
Gnome, Bug, Grung. That I
All right,
am
who's
gonna.
man?
Let me think about this. Probably gonna take off for the engine room. You said that was a position that someone should be at.
Yep, it's basically an engineering. It's a small, so in about middle of the ship, there are these 2 drives that are powered by arcane crystals, and there is a small engineering station right there that you could sit at. So,
Okay.
Goolian,
Well, I'm
you're
not
doing
good at
engineering?
Arcana. I don't know.
So you would know, so at each one of these positions, there's 4 main positions. You've got the main helm, which is going to be better for those with intelligence or charisma checks. You've got navigation, which is going to be better for those with dex or intelligence checks. You've got engineering, which is going to be more wisdom or charisma. And then you're going to have the security, which is going to involve weapons, and the grappling, which is going to be more strength and dexterity based.
Okay, I'll go. You said navigation was dexterity based?
Mm-hmm.
I will go there.
Okay, Goolian takes up navigation.
I'll go to weapons. Kick back, relax,
Okay,
let a dart,
weapons, so security. Okay, got it.
security.
Perfect.
And there was navigation. I'm sorry, engineering.
So-
and what else left?
The engineering and the helm.
The helm. And what were the best ones?
So
for those
helm is
again?
more intelligence and or charisma, and the engineering is more wisdom and charisma.
Then I can. My charisma is very bad, and my wisdom is also bad.
My wisdom is incredible, so I will
Then I
happily
love
take
that
the
for you.
wisdom, one.
Okay, so get you to engineering or bug.
Yeah, I'll go to the helm.
Okay. Artie's at the helm. Perfect.
I don't have to sleep, so I'm happy.
Oh,
Keep if we need sleep along the way and need someone to just watch the sensors, I'm happy to sit there and do that.
Can you imagine not sleeping and just sitting there having to sit with your thoughts all the
Knitting
time?
a lot.
Imagine
He
being,
sits there with his knitting.
yeah. Imagine being Bug and you used to be part of a hive with thousands of voices in your head, and now it's just
It's so
silence
quiet.
all the time. Yeah.
That's a horror story.
So fun.
Now, you'd probably actually be good at sleeping now if you had to do it, because silence.
No, I just sit and contemplate the void, honestly. That's all he does.
Artie, as you are at the helm, the gentle bay doors open as you wield them with you sitting in the helm. The dawn spear bumps as it lifts off, and you slowly glide out of the berth into the starlit void of the universe ahead. You see, as you pass through and out through the metal girders into the realm space around you, the radiant docks, glowing neon lights all over the place, just jutting pieces of metal and wood and hull and rock, all cobbled together out of this hearty will to live and to grow and to expand, this innate nature of anything living with intelligence to just make itself known and leave its mark on the universe. As you slide out, you see large cargo vessels, their solar psychic sails standing high and proud, slowly being pulled in as they come into dock. Others leaving. You see small skiffs that are coming and going, pleasure vessels, fishing vessels. As you go out, you see distantly small schools of astral sea fish that are flying and swimming, if you will, through the psychic ether. You slowly take up speed and you nose the Dawn Spear away from the radiant docks, and in a small two-dimensional minor image display, you watch it fading behind you, and you have multiple displays around you where you can choose with minor image for it to display things inside the ship, outside the ship, and around. You feel the course plotted as your whole body gets a little bit numb, and the ship itself, the Dawn Spear itself, now responds to you and your psychic yearnings as you sit at the helm, the same way, if not a little bit clumsily, that a hand or foot that has fallen asleep responds. It's there, and you can feel it as almost an extension of yourself. As you start to get underway, you prepare to deploy the underpowered speed that is going to throttle you forward into near faster than light. Looking about, having done this many times, you're going to call for everybody for a situation check before you engage.
All right, everyone. Situation check. How are we looking?
Nothing to shoot at yet.
Okay,
Ready and
go
waiting.
ahead.
With my eyes.
Oh.
Goolian, go ahead and give me either a strength or dex check. Let's just see how you do.
Dex check 16.
All things are green on your panel.
All things are green on my panel.
Bug. How are we looking?
This is just like just flat wisdom check.
Wisdom or charisma check, your call.
Okay, and does a luck stone apply to a check like this? It's not an ability check or a saving throw. That's what it says. It gives +1 to. So
You know what? I'll allow it. It's going to give you bonuses to your abilities. So yes, it would.
the luck stone in question is like a stone from like the thorax of his hive leader who's dead. That's what he carries around. Yeah,
That is lucky for you, but unlucky for them, I suppose you could
very
say.
unlucky. Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bug.
Oh, all good. 16 on my check there then.
Perfect. Yeah, all green on your end.
Everything is optimal.
All right, Glorp. What are we looking at? Anything?
I got a 19 on my dex check.
Nice. Yeah, everything is locked down tight.
There's nothing to shoot at yet. Literally just leaving the docks, so unless you want to be a terrorist, I think we're okay here.
All right.
Yeah, what if we just turn around and just start shooting our own?
It would be an adventure. That would be for
That's
sure.
the intrusive thought. No.
Probably less
Mutiny
money to
against
be
the hive
made.
is horrible, horrible idea.
Yeah, I'm with
Get
the
all
kid
that
here.
gold that's shared in the they're stored in the gambling bar. All right.
I like your gusto, Goolian, but I don't think that's the right call
I feel
here.
like that's why Goolian is living there. He's casing the joint.
Artie, it is on you now at the helm. You can make an intelligence or charisma check, whichever you prefer, to set your course.
Oh boy. Well, it could have been better. That's a 6. I swear I have good stats, you guys. It's just not my day. D&D Beyond is against me.
You're still
Maybe we are
thinking about
crashing.
that little waving
I'm
goo
still
guy.
thinking about the little goop thing. He's just dancing across my vision. I just see him everywhere.
Through these small portholes that are around the Dawn Spear, you look out, and as you are rapidly sailing away from the Radiant Docks, Artie engages the drives, and you hear a boom, boom, and you feel a vibration go through the hole, and then everything stops for a second, and then these stars just gonna start shrieking by as these long-tailed lights extend, and phew, you all are actually kicked back a little bit into your seats, and the vessel is now flying extremely fast. In Spelljammer lore, the vessels can cover 100 million miles in a 24-hour period. So you are moving at a very, very fast clip, with the understanding that you will be taking about half a day mark. So a day mark is actually 12 hours, because you have a day mark and you've got then the true night. So you're going to be voyaging for about 6 hours to get to where you're going. While the ship is underway, Artie pretty much has to stay in the helm. She is navigating the vessel and responding to minor course correction, things like that have to happen. Can still talk to people, but needs to stay seated. The rest of you are welcome to get up and about. What would you do over the next few hours?
You want to play some cards?
You know I'm always down for cards.
Yeah, I think it'd be down to get a little card game going.
I'll sit and attempt to learn to play while knitting.
Yeah, come on, kid. Join in with us. You gotta learn how to play. You'll love it.
Numbers.
Can Bug even hold a card?
I think his other hands are like 3-fingered hands. His like
I'm not
normal
that
use
familiar
hands.
with your race to know.
Thrikreens have 4 arms, so I've got like
Okay.
2 tiny ones that I use to knit, and then like regular arms that just are 3-fingered, like the penguin, Danny DeVito penguin hands. That's what I've got. But
You can definitely hold cards to those hands.
yeah, that's all I think. I'm just following the group's flow. If you guys are playing cards, that's what I would do, and I would be double checking that I've got all my stuff for this, like all my medicine and stuff with me, ready to go.
Artie, with that really great roll you had earlier, I want you to give me a perception check with disadvantage.
Sick. Absolutely. 11.
That's really not bad. You find that your mind is wandering. Maybe it wasn't just Vorn that was distracting you. Maybe there's something still nagging at you from earlier this morning when you were working on the ship. Not exactly sure what it is, and you find yourself trying to be introspective, thinking about your own steel defender that is curled up at your feet and just waiting to move, and all of a sudden the subtle warning tones that have been ringing, ding, 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 suddenly draws you back in, and your perception is flowing out through the Dawn Spear, and you see in front of you a roiling mass of clouds that seem to extend for hundreds of miles in all directions, and you are flying straight towards it. It's ink black vapor shot through with streaks of dark violet and green lightning that is arcing sporadically. At its core, you see these swirling void pulses that come in and out of maybe even existence and creating like a black hole effect that seem to be devouring light itself. Tendrils of dark mist are reaching out from this cloud, seemingly seeking anything to pull into its hungry depths. Now, this tempest is between you and your destination point. You guys have already been traveling about 2/3 of the way there. You've got not much far left to go. You can try to divert around it, or you've got this sense that you could power through it. Diverting around it will absolutely take longer and it's going to put some stress on the ship, or you can just plow right through it. You don't get the sense that this is going to be innately dangerous to you or the crew, but it may be uncomfortable.
I think split-second decision, I think she would choose to keep going.
Okay.
And then on the intercom, all right, everyone brace. There's some shit coming at us.
You shoot through this cloud, sending this roiling wake away from you that quickly closes in behind you. Visibility goes super low. All of you get this sudden sense of unease as you feel little turbulences that are going through your vessel. You hear some strange creaking and groaning as metal is under strain. And some of the moans you realize are not coming from this ship, as the portholes are now covered in this purple, gaseous, cloudy mix. I need each of you to roll a D100.
First of all, while this is happening, Bug immediately is hiding under the table. I'm crying, go and scurry under the table, and no, I don't like this at all.
You're the biggest person in this vessel, and you're hiding under the table. Okay.
Oh boy.
Big. I got an 8.
Huge.
Are you sure you rolled a D100? Bug got a 75.
Okay. For low numbers, right?
Goolian got 28.
And I got an 88. Lots of 8s.
Okay.
You were rolling for how many, knives everybody who boards has. I was rolling for how many of them there are.
Glorp, as you are entering through this, you get this innate, just uncomfortable sense of impending doom and dread, and you squeeze your eyes shut. But whenever you're closing your eyes, you perceive hundreds of dead, milky white eyes of all manner of creatures staring at you every time you shut your eyes. And this will last for the next 4 hours. Every time you shut your eyes, you perceive hundreds of dead eyes staring right back at you.
Kid, I think is your hive happen to be haunting type or?
No, hive is gone.
All right.
Bug. You are cowering under the table.
Hell yeah.
You start to hear the faint cries for help from your hive, from your lost hive members, and they seem to be emanating from the pockets of your own knitted clothing. And this effect is going to last for the next 2 hours, as every time that there is quiet, you swear you hear the calls of your lost colony members.
That sucks. By every time there's quiet, does that mean if I were to start ritual casting silence, that would only make it worse for myself?
You've got it.
Great.
So you're welcome to do that.
Yeah, I don't think I think he would
Make
try
the
it.
voices
Okay,
louder.
so he would start try it instead. It makes it worse.
As
It'll
you
drop
start-
concentration.
As you start ritually casting silence and everything else gets even quieter around you, those voices just become more loud and more distinct.
No. Drop concentration.
Why are you? It's gone.
I'm just like mashing my mandibles together instead to make noise.
Goolian, your essence begins to roil. And for the first time, you are unable to fully control the surface of your liquid.
Oh, I'm gooing out.
And you see horrific visages of nightmarish faces stretched beyond the periphery of what is normal to nature. Fade up and fade out, fade up and fade out, as if something is continuously pushing its face up against a pliable, like latex surface and pulling it away. And you are the only one who is seeing this, but it is messing with you. And this effect is going to last for the next 3 hours.
Ugh. Boy. Does that mean that, like, I can't, like, walk properly? Like, I can't control my shape to move, or?
That is up to you. Right now,
Okay.
This is what is happening as you pass through this, and it will last the next the next 3 hours.
Okay.
At least mine's only 2 hours. Good for
Artie,
me.
Oh boy.
as you sit on the helm, you feel this slimy substance like leaking from the helm, covering your fingers, and you pull them off and you try to rub it on your shirt, and your shirt feels slimy. And you try to rub it on your pants. Now your pants feel slimy. You can't look down as you are helming, but everything you touch feels slimy and not normal. And this is going to last for the next 3 hours.
Just glorps every day.
That's nothing at all. That's literally normal life. Man, you're
it's
lucky you
just
just get
like
a normal
Goolian
thing to happen to you.
everywhere. Yeah.
All of it's slimy. Ooh, yeah. I'm just hearing everyone I ever cared about dead asking for help in my head.
The vessel shakes, and for an hour, you guys pass through this ethereal storm as moans and chaotic lightning bursts appear outside. And after about an hour of just discomfort, the coloration starts to fade away, and you start to see stars popping and streaking by, and the vessel's slowing down. Artie, you've left behind the cloud, and ahead of you, you feel it. Your destination approaches. As you take a wide kind of surveying, rotating orbit around the Brightwarden's Aria, you all can look as the minor images are popping up on the viewports around, as you see this massive vessel, mostly made out of metal, steel, some wood. You've got 3 stacked decks, 2 enormous deployed sails at the top. There is a large landing platform between the 2 sails. There is what is apparently some form of a battle deck just beneath that has huge guns, 2 that are on the front and 2 on the back, and in between them what appears to be like a massive mortar. You see below that a little sloping stairwell down to a formation deck that then goes into the ship proper. You see on the forward part is a beautiful curved dome of glass, and that is where the bridge would be. You see on the aft part, the aft of it's a little squared off, and it's got some very nice windows looking out, and you can see that there might be what would be like the ship's galley and the cafeteria and some crew quarters through that. The 2 lower decks that you see as you are swinging about, you have the main deck. You see large cargo doors that are midway between starboard and the port sides of this ship. And then below that you see the bottom deck, which you would know would be the main cargo deck. Now, you chose the Dawn Spear, which gives you a bonus to some perception. So what I want you to do is I want you to make a perception check for me, Artie. And then we're going to add your own perception bonus and a +10 to it.
Okay. Well, that would be 13. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
I do realize though that because I'm a gnome, I could have re-rolled the one that I had way earlier, but like it's fine. It's fine. We
Things
carry
are
on.
Really
this one was a 2.
We're moving
for everybody. So
Yeah, I've been blasting.
roll bad now.
music
When we're in a
for-
fight, roll good.
Glorp has
Yes.
taped
That's the
his
plan.
eyeballs open. Like,
Yeah, blasting music so so the kid doesn't have to actually hear the screaming wails of his dead comrades and family.
You see, look at this Brightwarden's Aria. A few things stand out. First of all, although there's no up or down in space, it feels off. Like it's at an odd angle and drifting more sideways than forwards. It's not seeming to be under any kind of control. And the light that you see from any windows is faint and flickering. It does not appear to be properly powered, and clearly does not appear that there's anybody in control. With that roll, you picked up a large, like, biology signal, so a living mass signal on the battle deck. So just below kind of the landing deck, a large signal of something or someone biological.
Okay. I can relay that into. I'm guessing we all have some sort of like headset.
So when you are all in the Dawn Spear right now, you can all hear each other just fine. You can speak and act like normal. The comms, which for just for the sake of everybody listening, the standard equipment, comms, which is COMM, means communication over mostly metal. This is a piece of equipment that has a range of up to 200 feet. Its duration is 1 hour. Once per short rest, you may activate your comms and key into other members of your team who have also activated their comms. You may communicate as quietly or as loudly as desired, but words must be audible, no less than a whisper, to be picked up. Magical silence, 1 foot of solid stone, metal or wood, or a thin sheet of lead would block this signal or block this spell. So it's essentially a reusable message spell for those who may not have it that could be used to communicate over distances. But it does have a cooldown of once per short rest.
While we're in the ship, I will just communicate over the system that we have in here, letting them know what you said about the life. So I'm thinking that maybe we dock first, and then from there we make our way to the life signs. Unless there is something else that we would rather do, but if there is life, we probably should go to that first.
Only 1 hour has passed, right? Since we went through the cloud. Yeah, I think I'm like gooping around in a boot to try and give myself some form. So I'm not really in a position to be making ideas right now.
So there's already a lot of like, I don't know, whatever's going on in Bug's head already isn't great all the time. So like, you know, these screams are just like, maybe this is just a new element of whatever the fuck is going on with me, you know? So it's not totally debilitating, even though he really hates it. And I think the proposal that there might be people alive still that might need help, he would agree with that. You know, if there's somebody alive, that's what he would want to do. So life is important. The hive must survive.
So when you guys are thinking about this, you've salvaged many ships before. You can choose where and how you want to anchor this ship. As you have circled this Brightwarden's Aria, you did see on the underside of the fore of this ship, there seems to be a hatchway where presumably some stairs might come down for people to come on and off the ship if it was ever moored to a flat surface. You do have on the middle deck 2 sets of large corridors, one set on either side. You did see on the aft of the ship, it looks like an area that could be used more for like jettison. That would be underneath some of the weaponry that was there. And then kind of the main gangway of the ship is not only the low landing pad up above, but then there is that formation deck beneath that would have and serve as the main gangway for people coming on and off if it was moored like at a station or something like that. So you've got multiple points that you could choose to approach it in the Dawn Spear.
I would say, oh no, go ahead.
Last thing, there are no other vessels near here. You do appear to be the only salvage team here.
We are either very smart or very stupid.
Definitely smart.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I guess I'm just going to try to go for the easiest dock point that's closest to where we got the biosigns.
Okay.
So I'm not looking for a struggle. I'm mostly just whatever I think the closest dock point is to there, and then we can trek on the inside.
With your, with what you detected, you perceive that the best place that you picked up this biology signal was at the top of the ship. If you land, you'd be landing midship on the actual landing pad with a stairway down that would take you to the aft, basically to the aft battle deck, and that's where you detected the signal of this biology.
Sure, that sounds great.
You slowly come in, and as you are coming into land, let me have everybody roll a few checks here. So first of all, navigating as you're slowing down, go ahead, Artie, and go ahead and give me intelligence or charisma check for me as you're bringing the ship in.
Oh boy.
It's going to be good this time. Can I give
It's
guidance
not
before you
terrible.
do the roll?
I got a 12.
Yeah, it's passable. It's not the best landing you've ever made, but as you're coming in, you're slowing things down pretty well. Let's go ahead and have an engineering check. So for Bug, give me a wisdom or charisma check.
That is an 18.
Okay. As you come in, you are slowing down the reactor, you're shutting down the drive. Most of the fuel is now spent that you have gone through. So you do realize this is going to be that one way you expected. You guys will be picked up by the tug when they come here, but that you're able to secure everything, and now there's enough power that you'll be able to keep the ship systems on when you want to, but no fuses blown, everything is solid.
We should have bought some more fuel from the guy at the when we were getting armed up.
Then we
Can
could just
get more
leave.
fuel.
Yeah.
Just leave.
Let's get a navigation check from Goolian.
That's Dex or what?
Yep, it's IQ. It's a Dex or Intelligence.
Not great. We got an 8.
Okay. Looking at as you're feeling the ship coming down, you're seeing some sensors through as well. You're trying to help boost what Artie can feel as you're looking through this. You do detect the large life signs that are on the battle deck, be to your left as you are coming into land here. You also detect heat signatures and vital signs of different sizes and strengths, but it's very confusing with all of the metal in the decks below, so you're not getting a solid read on it, but you know that there is something or some things living below. And lastly, security. So Glorp, we're looking for a strength or dex here.
B17.
Okay.
Dex.
As you come in, the guns are stayed, but the grappling, you want to make sure that this vessel does not get knocked off and knocked free of the Brightwarden. Even though you don't have a lot of fuel, if you needed to get away, you certainly have that ability. So go ahead and make an attack roll for me with that. So add your proficiency.
Standard range attack?
Yep, make your standard ranged attack with your proficiency, and then because of this with the grappling, you get to add additional +5.
+5 on top of my normal attack would be 17 total.
Perfect. Yep. So you fire the grapplers, and from the fore and aft of the Dawn Spear, they fire down into the deck, and you feel the adamantium tipped grapples kind of dig into the hull, and you guys are locked solid onto it. You are here. What do you do?
Before we board the ship, if we're all together for a moment before we get on, Bug will be like, survival is paramount, and start shaking his thorax, and a bunch of spores will come out, and he'll cast Aid on you all, so you all gain 5 health, and your maximum health goes up by 5 at the same time for the next 8 hours.
Perfect.
Oh, nice.
As you guys are there, just to help try to orient you to where you are, you have a small landing pad that is situated between the 2 massive psychic solar sails that you have on either side. As you are standing there, you have a set of stairs that will lead you down to the fore battle deck and to the aft battle deck. The aft battle deck is going to be basically to your east, and the fore one will be to your west. As you're standing here, you know that the vital signs you picked up, these big, large mass, is to the aft.
I vote 4. I'm not trying to mess with vital signs yet. I think I'm still technically in a boot scared, so I vote that we go to the 4 first. Try to avoid conflict for while we can.
What if it's someone who needs help?
Right, it might not be conflict.
Bug could use stealth to check.
Because I can turn my carapace color to get advantage on stealth checks to match my surroundings. So maybe I could sneak down and, I don't know, try to get a peek on if it seems like there are vital signs that are threatening or if they are vital signs that need help.
It's a good call, kid. I could linger a little bit behind you as well. Pretty good being stealthy, but not quite as good as your camouflage.
Or I have Cece, my steel defender, could go. She wouldn't be able to communicate with us until she comes back, but she is, and I cover her ears as I say this, she is relatively expendable, so.
This is brutal.
Are we in like a hangar bay or like a long hallway?
Think of more of like a helipad. That it's a long, large helipad that could seemingly launch multiple vessels the size of the Dawn Spear that you just landed on. You guys anchored down in the middle of it. You are still inside of it. Now you could creep to the edge and look over to get a better view of the fore or aft battle decks if you chose. It sounds like there's some desire to go stealthing over there, but yeah, your call on what you want to do with that.
And if we can peek over an edge first, and then decide if we want to send CC. All right, is that the name of the cat?
Yeah, let's do a little peek.
Yeah, it's Cece.
Little peekus.
So who is going out to go peek?
I'm gonna peek. I'm gonna change my carapace to match the area to get advantage on stealth checks, and because I have amazing perception, so I'd really like to use it.
Okay, so we have Bug gonna go peeking out, creeping out. Anybody else going with?
Yeah, I'll linger behind. I'm not gonna be like the main stealth person up there, but I know like I'll be nearby just in case.
Now, are the rest of you coming out and standing like underneath the Dawn Spear? Are you staying inside?
I'll stay. Yeah, I'll be outside of the ship, but I don't need to go to the edge or anything. But I'll be like underneath it.
As long as you're within 120 feet, I can still communicate telepathically. So,
okay. Well, let's go ahead. Everybody out, and I'd like to have Bug and Glorp, give me first stealth checks, please.
The digital dice hung out for a little bit on a high number and then tipped. I got 11 total on stealth.
Thanks to the advantage, I got a 22 on my stealth.
That's pretty awesome. And perfect. So, gonna be a couple of rolls here.
I don't know. I don't know why we're even checking. I know it's not like there's going to be a friendly, helpful fucking thing on this ship. I don't know why I'm bothering with that.
Then why?
It's a non-zero chance.
Minutes ago, you were like, it could be friendly.
Because Bug doesn't know that, but I know that.
It's called not metagaming.
You are Bug.
I could be surprising you.
Yeah.
You know.
Could be survivors.
Okay. Bug and Glorp, as you creep to the edge, I need both of you to give me perception checks, please.
17 on perception.
Baby. 30 on my perception.
Big hitter. That's a big
You're gonna
hitter
know if
right
they're
there.
friendly now.
All right. You guys creep forward, and you see that the aft battle deck is usually something focused on defensive operations from pursuing vessels. You see that there's 2 large weapon batteries kind of at a V from each other, and in between that V is a massive long-range looking siege weapon. You see around the deck is a safety railing, and that there are small battlements that are set up that look like they are intentionally placed to help people be able to find cover if there was incoming fire. As you look down at the aft deck, it appears pretty much like spotless and pristine, but you see that there's like a faint, almost subliminal whispering that you're getting from the deck, and you detect like a faint feeling of warmth, which seems odd, warmer than maybe it should be. And you notice as you are here, there's a little bit of ambient light. Shadows don't seem to be as static as they should be, and that does send a bit of like the hairs, if you have hairs on the back of your neck, which I don't think any of you do.
I do,
if
but
you
not
did
you
have
two.
hairs, if you did have hairs, they would go up. But the thing that mostly catches your attention are the 2 large creatures that are creeping towards this landing pad. Limbs moving in stuttering motions that appears completely unnatural, completely wrong. A twisted amalgamation of insect and nightmare, writhing and pulsating with grotesque vitality. Their very form an unsettling spectacle of organic terror. Bulbous bodies covered in segments of glistening chitinous armor, each plate pocketed with tiny, sickly pores that ooze a viscous, foul-smelling secretion that you can detect even from here. The armor does little to hide the soft, fleshy tissue pulsating and shifting beneath, like muscles pressing against thin, translucent skin, as if desperate to escape from their own form. The heads are probably the most disturbing features of all, an oversized, bulbous orb with a face that is dominated by 2 enormous compound eyes that seem to be watching everything at once. Each eye reflects a shimmering, oily rainbow and hundreds of small facets that shift within, adjusting independently, moving with a sickening, wet clicking noise that sounds and feels alive of its own. Between the eyes sits a grotesque, lipless mouth ringed with jagged, mismatched teeth, some broken, others too long, crowding together in a sick mockery of a grin. The mouth opens not vertically but horizontally, revealing layers of needle-like teeth within, glistening and trembling with wet anticipation. Several writhing segments of legs seem to move with a mind of their own, covered with hooked barbs that scrape along the ground with each movement, producing a nauseating sound like wet flesh dragging against bone. Each leg ends in a cluster of clawed appendages that twitch and spasm as if reaching for prey, eager to tear into flesh and savor the sensation. And from its body extends a long, sinuous proboscis, curling and uncurling with each seeming breath, dripping a thick bile-colored fluid. It moves like a serpent, a mind of its own, tasting the air and searching for something or someone to latch onto. And as you both peer over the edge, Glorp, you get the unsettling realization that although they have not seen Bug, they have absolutely seen you. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Hey kid, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's not one of the survivors we're looking for.
Abort mission. Abort mission.
7 total by initiative.
11 on bugs.
22.
Jesus.
Goolian.
Yeah, and I already got a 6.
Okay.
Oh, and just before we get into it, my my Steel Watcher has the same or Steel Defender has the same initiative as me. So they go right after I do. So.
All right. And perfect.
I like to imagine I'm going last because I just took a moment to light a cigarette.
Damn.
Getting ready.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Okay, guys. So to set this up, you are all at a bit of an angle. You're 5 feet off of the deck, and you see these are large creatures. So they are taking up a 5 foot by 5 foot square. 10 feet by 10 feet. I have both Glorp and Bug looking over the edge. Bug, I'm going to assume that you're going to communicate this to them.
Yeah.
What's going on around you?
Alert! The monstrosities! The extreme danger! Extreme danger!
These creatures are, roughly speaking, 30 to 34 feet away from where you are, all 4 of you. And I have up first is Goolian. You are facing off east. You are at a bit of an incline, about 5 feet up, down to that aft battle deck. So that gives you a slight height advantage and a tiny bit of cover because of the angle. What do you want to do, Goolian?
Well, the range of my pistol is 30, so I gotta get closer to him, I guess. So I'm gonna run over to the edge. I'm looking at my stuff, and I think if I hit, I can start doing some pretty sick combos. So I'm just gonna try and hit him with my pistol.
Okay.
And I guess there's 2 of them, right?
There is 2 of them. So to make this easy, we can say you've got one that's kind of more on the north side of the map, one's more on the south side of the map. They're both roughly this equal distance from you guys.
I will go south.
Okay.
19 to hit.
That'll hit.
13 damage.
Right. Doing 13 damage to it. Perfect. You fire, and as you fire, you see that your laser just kind of carves through, going in between a couple of the chitinous plates, and seems to singe and sear some flesh beneath.
Heck yeah. And then, so, I think it's a skill or something, Vex with the pistol. So, you hit a creature with your pistol, deal damage to it, you have advantage on your next attack roll against that creature before the end of your next turn.
Perfect. And you hit that, you got advantage against one on the south, so we'll remember that.
Yep.
Anything else that you want to do with your turn?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's gonna be it for me.
All right. And next up is this first creature. It was the northern one. It, in a completely unnatural movement, think Japanese body horror where their motions are all juddery and wrong. It kind of walks forwards and backwards at the same time, and it closes the distance of 30 feet, coming straight up towards and up to that platform. And it is going to target Glorp, because that was a person that it could see. And as it reaches to target Glorp, it is making a multi-attack against Glorp. The first hit is going to be an 11 hit.
Misses.
And the second attack is going to be another 11. So
Also misses.
2 of these razor sharp mandibles, creepily similar to what Bug has, come scything out towards you. But because of the angle, you're able to dodge and weave a little bit there, and it fails to connect. So we have Bug with now Glorp on deck.
Cool. Don't like any of this that's going on. I think first thing Bug will do, inspired by the way that they're using their scythe-like arms, he's going to cast his spiritual weapon. So because he still has like access to like the frequency of all of his dead hive, that allows him to gain a connection to like the god of death as a grave cleric. So he attunes to like that frequency and his antenna start vibrating, and he turns like black in the area around that, and then like a spectral like Grim Reaper scythe combined with a mantis arm starts floating like next to the enemy.
That's freaking badass,
yeah.
dude.
Hell yeah, kid.
It was hell, dude.
Let him have it.
And he,
Awesome.
so I popped that spiritual weapon to make an attack with it as a bonus action as well, right next to Glorp.
Okay.
Right?
Perfect.
Because he just got attacked. So
Exactly
I make
right.
that attack as a bonus. I cast it and I can immediately make an attack. That's all a bonus action, I believe. So to hit with that will be 25 to hit.
That hits.
A big old 5 damage on that right there. Don't want to brag or anything. And that is, what kind of damage is force damage?
Okay, perfect.
And then I used a bonus action, spell, so then I can still do a cantrip if it's a casting time of an action, right? So I will point at a creature within range and I'll start vibrating my antennae at it to cast Hold the Dead at the one that is attacking Glorp as well.
Okay.
So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw of 15.
Oh, I don't think it's going to make that. Nope, it'll hit 11.
All right, and since it has taken damage from my first thing, it will now take 2d12 instead of 2d8 necrotic damage from my attack. So I'm going to roll 2d12 and hope that they're good.
Sequencing.
It could have been better. 8 necrotic damage on him right there. And then
Perfect.
I will just use my movement to get as close to the center of this group of people that I care about as possible without drawing any opportunity attacks in the process if I can.
Yeah, you should be fine. Right now, this thing has been engaged with Glorp. So the way I had this, I had essentially, we had Glorp kind of go north, and then we had Bug just right south from him. And then I put behind Glorp was Artie, and the behind Bug was Goolian. So that's kind of had it. You ranged like in a fourth quartet there.
Then that's
So-
then I'm good. If I'm close to everybody, then I'm good. I just
You
don't
are
wanna
absolutely
be-
close. I had you all kind of like here toward the edge there, just for simplicity's sake. Perfect. All right. So that, any other thing you want to do there, Bug?
That's my action and my bonus action, so I'm all good.
Okay. We have Glorp, you are up. Artie, there is a beast between you, Glorp, and you. So you will be last of the initiative order, Artie.
Sick.
Yeah, first thing I'll do is move 20 feet away, which I think would just trigger attack opportunity.
Yes,
attack.
you would. So as you move 20 feet away, oh gosh, that's a 5 to hit. So I think you're fine.
Cool. Easy. So
Yep, so you are 20 feet away.
I'll go ahead and take my first attack action.
Okay.
Throwing a dart, drawing as I throw, and applying the poison as well.
Okay.
So I'll just go ahead and roll to hit on the first dart, and I'm going to throw the second dart as part of that action because of my dagger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not using stuff. All right, so rolling the dart. That is a crit. Natural 20.
Nice.
Let's go. 20
Nice.
total. All right, so damage would be 9 plus, if it matters to them, the Grung poison DC 12 Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Roll 2 1s on my damage for crits. Let's go, baby.
It's gonna meet that save.
Next throw as part of the main attack action would be a 16 to hit.
That just hits. You are able to find just a space between the chitinous armor to get in there.
So that's going to be 10 damage plus the DC 12 Constitution save.
And that's going to be...
Just going to get used to rolling these because...
Yep, that's fine. I'm going to get that. Yep, that's a failure.
Okay, so it's 2d4 for that damage. Be 5 more poison damage.
Okay.
This is like in Cloudy with a Chance of Fireballs, and my weapon had a chance to do like 1 extra little bit of damage. So every single time I hit, you had to keep rolling to check it.
Bonus action, I'm going to draw a dart and throw.
Okay.
As part of my offhand. So it'll be 26 to hit.
Wow, that's
which would
pretty
be
impressive.
9. Yeah, I get plus 8, 5 dex, and 3 proficiency. So it'd be 9 damage plus DC 12.
Okay. And your poison?
Do they fail it?
Yeah.
I guess, okay. This can be 5 damage poison.
Nice. Okay.
And then I get 2 attacks as a fighter level 5. So I'll throw another dart. That's going to be 22 to hit.
Okay. A lot of darts coming out of you.
Hell yeah. 8 damage.
He's hiding them under his pecs.
Yep.
He's got all those vest pockets.
I got this little leather jacket. Bug made me sashes and armbands I can store.
I'm just thinking of what's his name?
It's like Rambo,
in the
kind of like
Daredevil.
bullets everywhere.
Yeah, it's Bullseye and Daredevil. Yeah, just throwing out just darts everywhere. I love it.
Yes.
And then
Colin
he failed his
Farrell.
dex save. No, sorry, that made the Constitution save this second time.
Cool. And it's still up, looking fine.
No, not looking fine. Looking pretty bad,
I mean, it
actually.
looked pretty far from fucking fine to begin with. I don't know what I tell you.
Relatively fine for its norm.
It looks like it's had better days for sure. It
was
went
grotesque.
from looking way more healthy than it does now. Now it looks pretty beat up.
Cool.
Okay.
You guys have dished out over 60 points of damage
Hell yeah.
Woo!
to it.
I'll call it there. I'll save my action surge for another time.
Okay. The other one of these creatures does this same kind of weird motion moving, and now having seen everybody reveal itself, it targets the person closest to it, and Bug, you feel this gaze of these multi-segmented eyes just like lock onto you, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
I'm great at these. Let's hope for a good roll, everybody. Oh, I love to see that. 27, baby.
You feel your limbs start to try to lock, like you are being filled with gas and paralyzed from within, but you shake your head, and as you shake your head, your head clears, and this effect, whatever it was trying to do, is lost. As that goes away, you see it come rushing up to you, and it makes 2 attacks against you. First one's a nat 20 for a 25.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I
you're
thought it was.
so it's not as bad as it could have been. You are only taking 15 points of slashing damage.
Great. And I need to do a concentration saving throw on my spell, which I don't remember how to do. I don't remember what they are.
DC is 10 or half the damage taken, rounded down. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so if it was
That's
over
the thing.
20, it would be more than 10.
So 60, you gotta so you basically gotta do an 8.
Well, I just have to do it because half the damage would only be 8. So I'm assuming you want me to do the 10, which is more.
Yes, that's exactly correct.
Yeah,
there
so
you go.
I just have to beat a 10.
Words. We'll get this figured out.
We got it. We rolled a flat 10 on
Okay.
that dice anyway, so we're good.
Now that it's attacked you with its these speared mandibles coming out, you are also now grappled.
Oh, sick. And that was only one of its attacks, right? You said it was going to do
Well,
12?
because it got you with the grapple,
okay.
it has now got you into its grapple, and you feel that proboscis that it has is coming and starting to suck at you and is seeking your brain. I need you to make another wisdom saving throw.
Cool. Don't like that.
Yikes.
Not as good a 14 this time.
You still save. You feel like there is a sense coming to you. You are grappled, but you did save as this proboscis that comes out is like, you feel almost like vacuuming at your very mind. Artie, you are up with Goolian on deck at the top of the turn order. Just to set the picture, Artie, you are standing about 5 feet away from the edge where both of these monstrosities are now standing. Directly across from you is this monstrosity that has had a lot of damage dealt out to it and is not looking so hot. However, there is now one that looks really pretty healthy that has grappled and is doing something perverse and unnatural to Bug. And that is just south. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they're not within melee of me, correct?
They are not, but you just need to move 5 feet forward and you could be in melee with them.
No, I do not want to be in melee with them.
Okay.
I want to move 30, I want to move like 20 feet away from them.
Opposite of that, actually.
I would like to stay away.
Okay, you can move 20 feet away.
Yeah, so to be within that 30 feet, but I do not want to be within melee with them.
Just checking range here. Yeah, you are within. Just because of where they are at the edge of kind of reaching up over it, there's going to be 1 point extra added to their AC because of your backing up and that angle there. Did the same thing for Glorp when he was attacking. So
Okay, sure. So I would like to focus on the one that is grappling Bug.
Okay.
So right off the bat, I'm going to bonus action Branding Smite on my crossbow. Mm-hmm. So let me just cast that quick so I have it activated. Okay. And with my Artificer level, I get to do 2 attacks. So I'm just gonna crossbow bolt number 1, see if it hits. An 18.
that hits.
Okay, so that will be, I have to do 2 rounds of damage. So, well, that's not super great. So there's 6 and then plus the Branding Smite. So 12 points of damage for the first shot. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just gonna quick load it up, shoot again. Let's see. 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
Yeah, that's good.
That's some good rolls.
Okay, and then that's 11 points of damage for the second.
Perfect. This one, as you rapid fire these crossbow bolts, as big and bulbous as their heads look with the viscous and the teeth and just their chitinous armor, you're able to find a couple of locations through, and you're firing, you're catching, you're taking chunks of the under flesh with it, and as they seem to be bleeding, it's sizzling and spewing as if it's frothing as it comes into contact with the pocket of air that surrounds the Brightwarden's Aria. Anything else you want to do?
No, but I'll do my Steel Defender really quick. So I can use a bonus action to make it do something, but I used my bonus action. So then the only action it takes on its turn is a dodge.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
her correspondence cache is her name because that's what she does. So I call her Cece. So that's double CC anyway.
Nice. But she can still move on her turn, right?
She can, but she'll just stand next to me because I don't want to have to remake it. So she's gonna just stay by me. But yeah, so then I'm done.
Expendable doesn't want to remake it.
Yeah, expendable, but it's like I don't really want to. It's a lot of extra effort.
That's
you
fair.
guys seem to be handling it just fine, so.
All right.
The situation is dire.
All right, perfect. That takes us to the top of the turn order, which puts the Goolian atop. We've got one more of these creatures, and then Bug on deck after that.
Sweet. Is the south one the one that's pinned bug or attacked?
Yes,
bug?
the south one is the one that has pinned bug.
All right, might as well try this. I want to use bonus action Eye for Detail.
Okay.
It says I can make a perception check to spot a hidden creature or object, or make an investigation check to uncover or decipher clues. I want to see if I could see if it has a weak point I should be aiming at for the shot or something. Or yeah. So would that be
you
more
doing this
investigation?
For the one that's grappling bug?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check for that.
That's 18.
Okay. Looking at how it has pinned him and the way its arm is, you don't see a specific weak point, but because of where you are, you look at an angle of attack that if you hit it right, you can not only sever or significantly damage one of the grappling arms to give a lower DC to bug to escape, and you could probably damage that proboscis that looks like it means business and is not something that you want bug to have to be able to contend with.
Okay, heck yeah. I'm gonna obviously focus the attack on that.
What are you attacking with?
The pistol.
Okay.
So we got advantage on it from last turn, the Vex, so that's roll 2 twice to hit, right, and take the higher?
That's correct.
12 and 6. So we'll take the 12.
All right, you line up to fire, and you're trying to hit this specific angle. Unfortunately, with bug moving around and trying to struggle free, it actually moves just at the wrong second, and your fire goes past it and hits into the deck below and goes wide.
Okay, that's all I got then.
Okay. This second heavily damaged creature crawls all the way up onto the deck, trailing a layer of viscous bubbling ooze beyond it. It apparently is hungry and hurt. It's got this, if you can read the compound eyes, this wild look in its eyes, and it has eyes only for either Artie or Glorp. And on a 10 and up, it's going to go for Artie. It's going for Artie. Artie, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
That's not great for me. Okay. The first good roll of the day, 17.
This is a good roll to make. So you feel your joints try to lock. You feel this unnatural, statuesque, freeze try to hit your body, and you shake it off. And just as you shake it off, you see this large, 10-foot tall, bulbous head attached to a nightmarish body rushing up to you as it makes a multi-attack against you. It's a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. You take a slashing attack you take 10 points of slashing damage, and you are grappled.
Sick.
We are now to Bug with Glorp on deck.
I think.
Yep.
Oh yeah, what were you gonna say? Tell me about my situation.
Your situation is not fun. Bug, you are being stabbed through by these praying mantis-like spears through your body that are holding you there. This dangling wet proboscis that is coming out from underneath the mouth that is opening the wrong way and filled with too many teeth as it is drooling on top of you. What are you doing?
Cool. First thing I think Bug is going to do is recognizing the thing in front of him seems to be bug-like as well. He's going to start vibrating his antenna at a frequency to disguise himself to cast Sanctuary on himself as a bonus action, so that anytime something tries to attack me for the next minute, it has to succeed on a wisdom saving throw or choose something else to attack, because I don't want this thing to attack me while it's holding on to me. So that will be my bonus action. And then I mean, I don't think I have a chance in hell of breaking out of this thing because I have terrible strength. That's my dump stat. So I will just go ahead and, since I did a bonus action spell, I will do a cantrip again. I will toll the dead at this one that's holding me.
Okay. It is definitely damaged, so...
So it needs to do a saving throw of a wisdom saving throw of 15. 15
wisdom. It fails.
Yes, thank God. Okay. Then it is going to take 10 necrotic damage.
Okay. It staggers holding you, and it looks like it is barely standing as the necrotic energy flows from you, and you actually see this sickening disease spread beneath its carapace, and you see the very flesh beneath it starting to rot and mildew and fall apart, decay right in front of your eyes. This thing looks like it's barely holding it together.
Then I'm gonna really hope that somebody kills it on its next turn, on their next turn, because that's all I can do.
Okay. We have Glorp up, and then we've got this beast, and then Artie.
All right, I have 25 feet of movement. I want to move in a way that I'd be within 20 feet of both monsters if possible. It's like between them or something.
Well, right now, the way I have you positioned, because Artie fell back, had you and Artie standing side by side. So basically, it is Artie would be just to your north, then you, Glorp. Her steel defender is further north of her, and this big beast is kind of standing right there in front of you. So you basically are within 5 feet of the one that had just grappled her. If you want to move to the side to be within 20 feet of the others, you could just move 10 feet at a diagonal, and you'd be within 20 feet of all of them.
Okay, I'll do that and take the attack opportunity.
It won't attack you at the opportunity because it has got her grappled.
Okay, perfect. Even better.
Love that for you.
They're seeing that they're both looking really weak. I'm going to turn attention to the one dealing with Bug first. And
the one with Bug looks like it's not quite bloodied. The one that's up here definitely looks the worst. The one that's got
attacked last time.
Yep. So
I would attack the one that's worse, I think, even though it Bug.
I think that makes the most sense.
Yes.
Slim the numbers. Yeah.
I care about my boy, my kid, but you know, I gotta do the logical decision.
Bug would embrace that decision. I sanctuaried myself so you can focus
the hive
on
too.
Yeah.
First start, drawing, throwing, slicking, 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
Which will be 8 damage. DC 12.
DC 12. Okay, it saves that one, so it takes the 8 though.
Draw a second dagger as part of my attack. That'll be this first attack. That'll be 18 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
And
this thing's looking really bad.
It's 11 damage though.
As you throw this second dagger, as it goes through it, it catches it like right at the base of its neck as it's trying to bite down on Artie. And as you see its teeth trying to close down on her, you hit it just right, and the teeth closes and the head just kinks at a natural angle, and it falls forward right on top of Artie. It is no longer moving. Artie, I need you to make a dex save with disadvantage as it has you in its grasp.
Okay. Oh, probably not good. Hold on.
Jesus.
Well, it's a 7 with disadvantage.
Okay. It falls upon you, and this heavy weight of this thing is massive. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as it crashes down on top of you, and you are struggling to breathe. It is dead though, and it's just laying right on top of you. This thing that is really, really big. Okay, so we're back though to Glorp.
All right, so I'll just pivot, spin around, bonus action. I'll draw a dagger and throw it at the one attacking Bug.
Got it.
So 18 to hit.
That hits.
So that's going to be 10 damage.
Yep, and it failed its save.
That's going to be another 3 poison damage.
Okay.
And my second attack, I'll throw another dart.
Hey.
15 to hit.
That hit. Actually, no, that misses. It goes wide.
Okay. All right. That's my turn.
Perfect. We now have the creature holding desperately to Bug. Bug, because you are grappled, at the start of its turn, you take 2d6 slashing damage because you're grappled.
Tight.
But you take only 7 points of slashing damage. And then I need you to make a wisdom saving.
Is this a spell? A damaging spell?
So I would say technically no, because it's a mind-probing proboscis. So
Is it some sort of attack then?
It's an attack. It's a wisdom.
To make a wisdom saving throw in order to attack me.
It's a damage. Basically it's gonna do psychic damage. So we'll make it. It is a wisdom save. So you could call that a spell if you would wish.
Because I cast Sanctuary on myself, anything that tries to target me with an attack or a damaging spell has to do a wisdom saving throw first before it can attack me.
To see if it can attack you. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your DC?
15.
Unfortunately, it did a 20 for 25.
Of course, it passes now.
22 rather. So,
all right, so I need to make a wisdom saving throw against the now it's my turn.
Yes.
Okay.
You save, then I save, then you save, then I save.
All right. Oh, fuck you with that. A 12.
That just saves.
Jesus.
Let's go.
Okay.
So
huge.
instead of taking 3d10 damage,
Which probably killed me.
you are able to psychically resist. This does attach, and you feel it sucking like right above your eyeballs. Like it's trying to get at you, but you, with a sheer force of will, prevent it from being able to get to you. And as such, it tries to move. So it is going to start pulling you back away from here. And it's going to turn around and it moves you 30 feet, carrying you with it. So it is now 30 feet away from everybody. It's taking you back further towards the aft of the ship. So that leaves Artie. You are buried beneath this massive, several hundred pounds of wet, chitinous insectoid flesh on top of you. So this your turn now, Goolian. You are on deck.
So can I would like to try to get out from under the creature.
Okay.
Can I then also use my I'm trying to think of how I want my Steel Defender to help me, but it takes its action after me. So can I try to get out, but then if I can't, can I use my bonus action to then like command it to then like try to help
Here's
me?
what we'll do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use the Steel Defender to like grab onto your clothing with its teeth. Okay. You're commanding it to use its action to basically help pull you out as you are going to make a strength save. So we're going to give you a chance to use your strength save with advantage to pull yourself out from underneath of this big beast that's on top of you.
Okay. Well, guys, don't get too excited. I have a -1 to my strength save, so let's go. Well, that's an 8. Let's see. And a 7, so.
Yeah, you are trying to get out. You shifted enough that you're able to breathe with more ease, and you're not going to take any kind of suffocation damage. But unfortunately, you're still pinned, even with your Steel Defender trying to pull you out. So that's an action and a bonus action there.
That's my turn. Amazing.
Goolian, you see it retreating away from your current position. It has moved and it's putting you, see leading edge. It's about 25 feet away from you though now.
Okay, perfect. That's still close enough. I'm gonna use bonus action steady aim to give myself advantage on attack roll.
Nice.
And then it's pistol time. And we got, well, I probably don't need to roll a second time because that's 24 to hit.
You should, just in case you crit.
Okay, good point. And yes, I did. So it's
You crit and
Shut
he's
my
gonna get
mouth.
to double that sneak attack damage then, right?
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's where it is. Look at that. I'm being too nice as a DM.
Yeah. Crit is 18, and then add in the sneak attack damage is 17.
Sheesh,
So that
boy.
is 35 points of damage. So, Bug, you feel yourself being dragged along the deck. As you're being dragged, this mouth that is opening, gaping the wrong way, it is opening wider and wider. You've got a big head and you feel it like trying to come down around your head. And as it's about to just barely start feeling those teeth biting into your neck, you hear the crack of this laser rifle, and it just like Men in Black goop, just blood pulse over your head, and it is gone. Stops moving, and there is silence as everybody is breathing hard, and 45 seconds has elapsed since you landed here.
Death avoided. Thank you, Goolian.
Wait, no, help.
Good shot.
Yes, Artie requires
no
assistance.
problem, buddy, and I'll go over and do what I can to help. Maybe I can like
Let's think about it. We're all terrible
puddle
at
under this
strength.
thing, and then like I don't know, form up under it to kind of like raise it
I
up.
cast
a bit.
guidance on you to help you.
I'll just do the helping action by helping move it as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, I have a
Wait,
minus
so do
one
all of us
athletics
have-
and strength.
We all have -1. Seriously?
I think
I think so. I think
we're all
God.
bad
starting dog shit and strength.
No.
With three
You don't need a
small
lot of,
creatures.
we all have that. We've all been living in space for so long. The gravity, has weakened our
True.
muscles. Yeah.
So
Oh,
true.
that is a perfect use of that. So, okay,
Nice.
Goolian, Bug, and Glorp all come alongside with your Steel Defender. We're not going to have you roll for this. With some time and some effort, you're able to shift this dead weight of a insectoid chitinous creature enough that you are able to struggle out from underneath it. Your clothing now has this acrid scent of decay and rot to it, but you are free. You guys are now breathing a bit heavily, looking about. You realize you are still on top of basically the landing pad. These things that come up on top of you there. You've got the aft deck that could be explored. You've got the forward battle deck could be explored. And then you've got the assembly deck below that has, doors that leads into the rest of the ship proper.
Recommend short rest to reassess situation.
Agreed.
Just a quick short rest. Take a quick short.
Is this the spot that we detected the massive life signs, or is that another spot of the ship?
From what you were detecting, because you were detecting massive life signs, you realize that these were the massive life signs that you were detecting up here.
Okay.
As you are all standing there, short resting, kind of patching yourself up, if there were dice you wanted to roll, or if there were potions you want to drink, any of that kind of stuff, it's all up to you at the moment.
I was fortunate that when I did my short roll dice, it took me I only needed 4 more health. I rolled the worst I possibly could on this potion, but it's 2d4, I think, +2. So I get 4 health back. So
There you go.
That's good.
Looking over back to where you were, kind of beyond this creature that is dragging you over there, you see towards where these massive weapons are standing silent. There is a crumpled blue corpse of some kind. Appears to be wearing a uniform. You can see it was kind of the direction that you were being taken.
Cool.
Can I make an investigation check on that?
Sure, you could go over there, and anyone else.
Before he goes over
there.
there, I'm going to use an action, Eyes of the Grave, to know the location of any undead within 60 feet to make sure that's not like a fucking corpse that's going to get up and attack him.
That's perfect. And what does that look like to you? If you the Eyes of the Undead.
Let's say the Eyes of the Grave, let's say his antennas start to vibrate even more, and then like that blackness moves down his face and his eyes go completely black. Like he's just able to assess the situation with like dead sonar. I don't know.
As you're assessing, does that give you bonuses to anything other than just be able to see undead?
It just says, you know the location of any undead within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover and that isn't protected from divination magic until the end of my next turn.
So do me a solid here. As you're looking at that, also give me a wisdom saving throw.
Tight. Oh, great. Worst roll that I rolled a 2 + 8 for 10. So
Okay.
Dope.
So as you're looking at that, first of all, nothing is pinging as undead. It's just dead.
okay, that's good.
Regular dead. But the aft deck continues to have that spotless, pristine look. You still see and feel kind of like there's a bit of an ethereal, unearthly whisper echoing across, as if something is just almost breaking through your perception, but not really there. You touch the railing as you're looking on that way, and it still feels warmer than probably it should. And still seeing, now that things are calm, that the shadows are shifting in a way that they shouldn't be for the more static light. Goolian, as you're walking over towards the aft, barricaded behind some stacked crates, making part of a wall, you find a furbolg wearing a simple ship's uniform, but you see scattered about the furbolg a bunch of different simple tools, wrenches, screwdrivers, and the like. But they are all covered in blood. And the furbolg's body is covered in scrapes and cuts and puncture wounds. His hands are bloody, as are the 2 screwdrivers that are still in it. I want you to make either a medicine or an investigation check for me.
17.
Okay. Great. Good check. As you look, you recognize that all of these wounds were self-inflicted. And that on his uniform, it says Gunner Vilse Lightbloom. You've identified your first crew member of the Brightwarden's Aria.
Perfect. Let's get that sweet money. Definitely gonna leave the tools alone. I love tools, but I'm not gonna, not gonna mess around with that. I don't think I have the ability to carry him. Do we need to carry him to the our ship that we came on?
You just need to know
salvaging, or
you need to be able to tell what happened and be able to answer in case you are questioned, especially if you're questioned magically. So now that you've quickly identified this person, you can kind of mark it off the list that now you've got one of the 31 crew members that you know something about and can answer what his fate was.
Okay.
And since you were there and you had this good investigation, go ahead and give me a wisdom save.
10.
Yeah. Everything still seems odd and off. Shifting shadows, shifting the wrong way as you walk by. And the rest of you, as you look on as Goolian's walking back, you take a moment to breathe before stepping down to the assembly deck. And stepping into the assembly deck, you see to the aft is a clearly marked sign that has pilot crew quarters, galley. And then to the fore, you've got navigation, main stairwell, and the bridge. And as you think about which way you're going to go next, we'll go ahead and call it here for the next episode of Lament of the Void.
Well, all right.
Beautiful.
Wow.
You know, that thing happens in every episode where the camera zooms out to the tavern and that guy's reading this book that started the story and he goes, oh, this is pretty fucking weird. And with that, thank you to all the players this week, Will, Goose, and Chad. And special thanks to our guest DM, Ryan All their socials can be found in the description. If you want to see the video of the episode, it'll be up on our YouTube. Follow us at Talltale Tavern Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. If you like us, give us one of those good 5-star reviews. Join our Discord too. Thank you to Tyler Adelsperger for our music. Thank you to Zaezar for our artwork. And with that, we'll see you next time at the Talltale Tavern.